Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Cam Jennings here, and you know, um, most of the time I just post music on this channel, but I've let me start here. This is the story, okay? I want to talk about Tool's Fear Inoculum, right? This is the new record that Tool just came out with not too long ago, and I want to talk about it because of this. I work on my computer, and so because of this, I listen to music. A lot of times, I'll listen to music from Spotify, and I happen to find the new. I listened to it quite a few times. I probably listened to this record four, five, six times, and the record's quite long. It's about an hour and a half long, but I really enjoyed the hell out of this album. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say, and the reason why I'm doing this review is because when I was listening to the record, I was really enjoying it, and then I thought, I wonder what other people are thinking about this record. This is a brilliant record. I really enjoy this record, and what I noticed was the more I listened to it, the more layers that I discovered with this record, the more nuances, the subtle nuances I discovered. And, first let me just say, I'm not like, I've listened to all the Tool records. I think all the Tool records, I own them all. Lateralis, 10,000 Days. I don't own Opiate, but I do own Anima. I own 10,000 Days. I own Lateralis. I own some of the Tool records, I guess you could say. And I've enjoyed all of them, right? And I think they're brilliant for their precision. I think that they're brilliant for their calculated arrangements and progressions that seem to seamlessly kind of come full circle. Right? I love that about them. I love the tones. I love the talent, the drumming, the bass. Justin Chancellor, Danny Carey, Adam Jones, and Maynard, of course. They're just really, really good at what they do. But I wouldn't say that I'm a super fan of Tool. I mean, literally, I went to watch Tool in Cincinnati several years ago. This was when they were touring for 10,000 Days, I believe. And I was so tired. I'd worked all night, and then my band had played a show, I think the next night. So I'd went a couple days without sleep, man. So I wanted to go. We had tickets, and when we went, man, I had earplugs in my ears because, man, I knew I just wanted to climb up to the top of the back of the arena and just crash and go to sleep, man. So there I was at a Tool concert, a freaking Tool concert, crashed in the upper rafters, just sleeping, kind of fading in and out of sleep. I had earplugs in, but still, So I'm not a super fan, but I love the band. I mean, I'm just not like obsessed with them or anything. You know what I mean? So there's that. All right. So I'm coming from I want you to know the perspective I'm coming from. Okay. Not a person who's obsessed with the band, but a person who's very familiar with their music and has enjoyed their music quite a bit and recognize it as great music and as music that a group of people have spent a lot of time creating. So what was amazing to me was when I went to look at the reviews of what other people were saying about this band, YouTube reviews, Rolling Stones reviews, Pitchfork reviews. When I went to look at what other people were saying about this album, I was stunned at some of these reviews. I couldn't believe it. So I made a few notes for myself. I said it kind of inspired me to take action. It inspired me, my 43-year-old self, to take action and do my own review of this album, tell you my thoughts on it. And I want to talk a little bit about some of these other reviewers. I want to turn the camera around on some of these reviewers for a minute. Okay, so I wrote these notes and I want to read them to you. Okay. So I want to talk for a minute about Tool's new album, Fear Inoculum. All right. Now, Tool is a progressive alternative metal band. All right. And I want to really, really key in on the fact that they are progressive. They are alternative and they are metal. So they're going to be a little bit different. They're going to be a little heavy. and they're going to be very progressive. Their songs are not going to follow typical verse, chorus, verse arrangements. Generally, their songs are going to go off on these meandering, wild paths, but they are going to kind of come full circle. It's like you're going on a journey with a Tool song, right? And right when you think all is lost and you don't know where the hell you are, it kind of comes full circle and you find yourself back on a familiar path. And you're like, oh, okay, this is how it all ties together, right? That's kind of how Tool operates. And their songs, it's really cool, man. If you like progressive alternative metal, this is really cool. It's cool to listen to a song and kind of get lost in this song and you don't know where you're at. And then all of a sudden it kind of circles back around full circle and you're like, oh, okay, that's how everything fits together. This is crazy. It's like this epic journey or something. So this is Tool. This is what they're about, right? And it's been 13 years since their last album, right? Between 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum, it's been 13 years, right? On top of that, it's been like 28 years since they released their first demo in 1991. Now that's almost 30 years of Tool. That's almost 30 years they've been doing this. Okay. So like to me, my thoughts are, given the climate of music today and like the success of this band, I mean, they really don't have to put out another album. They don't have to do that. They've made lots of money with music and doing other things besides music. And they don't really have to put out another record. So we're kind of blessed that they are putting out another one, period. We're blessed to be getting another Tool record. Like if you're a fan of this band, you're blessed that they're putting something out to begin with, that you're actually getting something new. I kind of felt that way when Coheed and Cambria put out their last record too. Like, wow, Coheed and Cambria has been doing this for a little while. That's another kind of progressive alternative metal band, Coheed and Cambria. I kind of felt blessed that they were putting out another one, period. And I feel that way about this one. We're kind of blessed to be getting another Tool record, period. Now, after several listens to this album in its entirety, I want to point out a couple things that I've noticed. All right. First, the more I listen to it, the more I notice. That's the first thing that I want to point out. There are subtle nuances that you only really discover with this record after several listens. All right. There are layers to this record is what I'm saying. And I know I said that before, but it bears repeating. From the giant song lengths. These songs are like, 10, 11, 12. I think there's a song on there that's 15 minutes long, right? So the giant song lengths to the ironic beauty of an album that is an hour and 27 minutes long, yet only has 10 tracks. This album only has 10 tracks, all right? But it's an hour and a half long. Legit, it could have been a double album. It could have been a double album, seriously. To the complex arrangements that always seem to find themselves coming full circle, like I told you guys, to the razor sharp yet powerfully deep guitar tones, to the precision of Justin Chancellor's bass, to the familiar intricacies and stunning rage of Danny Carey's drums, right? I love everything about this record. It's clearly a piece of art, all right? Now, look, that being said, I just want to speak for a moment on some of the criticisms that this record has been getting from reviewers. All right. One of the criticisms that I've heard from this record, from other reviewers over and over, is that it is typical Tool and they don't break any new ground, just more of the same, almost like a regurgitation of their past records. Like, I personally disagree with this negative criticism. I mean, I do hear the progression in the band. It is not the same as their previous records. However, what you have to understand is this is a mature band. We're talking about 4 guys that have been doing this for 30 years, all right? It's a mature band. It's a fully realized band. And what I mean by a fully realized band is that this is a band that's become comfortable with the way they operate together as a band, their style, right? To expect a band like this to completely reinvent themselves every couple of years is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. For what? Why would they reinvent themselves every couple of years? To satisfy the audience like some kind of novel circus attraction? They are musicians that have been playing together for 30 years. The band has a style. I personally think it's cool that they stayed true to their style and just didn't try to reinvent themselves just for the sake of reinventing themselves. Because you know what would have happened? People would have said, man, this doesn't sound like Tool. I absolutely hate it, right? They're staying true to their style, and I think that's okay. I think that's absolutely cool. Another criticism that the songs that this album is getting is that the songs are unnecessarily long, right? Which is something that just floored me. Like, people are criticizing them because their songs are too long. Like, I was listening to this record multiple times while doing other things, and I really enjoyed the long form of the songs. I enjoyed that long form that they put on these songs, right? It felt somehow bigger and more epic to me. I don't believe this album was meant to be listened to with 100% attention by Millennial and Generation Z, who have the attention span of a goldfish and can't stay off their phones for more than 10 seconds at a time. I don't think this record was meant for you guys to listen to and appreciate. You're not qualified to understand music like this. You don't have the attention span for it, right? Now, I'm not trying to criticize an entire generation. I'm just making a broad generalization. I'm sure there's people from Generation Z and the millennial generation who have the attention span to appreciate music like this. But you know what? The fact of the matter is there's a lot of negative criticisms out there about this. And I personally feel like it's a generational thing. The attention span of the music listener today just can't handle a 15-minute song, right? That's not Tool's fault that you can't recognize the art for what it is. It's not Tool's fault that, you can't appreciate that style, right? That's not their fault. The song doesn't need to be shorter. You just weren't meant for the song. All right. That being said, everybody has the right to an opinion. Okay. I'm not saying people don't have a right to an opinion. All right. What I'm saying is the opinion that a lot of these reviewers are giving to this record are not qualified. All right. They're not qualified opinions. They have not given these records in many cases and not just Tool, right? This is many, many records, not just Tool. I heard a similar review on Rage Against the Machine's Battle for Los Angeles not too long ago. I couldn't believe the dumbass opinions I was hearing on this record. Unbelievable. Look, they're not giving these records. I lost my place. I wrote these notes down. I wanted to say they're not giving these records in many cases the respect or attention they deserve to have a qualified opinion, right? Everybody has a right to an opinion, but what do you have to do to have a qualified opinion? What makes you qualified? Well, I think when it comes to a record that people spent 13 years making, probably you need to spend a little time with the record, maybe a couple weeks. Maybe you just need to maybe that just needs to be the soundtrack. If they spent 13 years wrestling with it to get it out, maybe you could have this record be the soundtrack of your life for a couple weeks, and then let's see how you feel about it. Maybe you're a little more qualified at that point to recognize the subtle nuances of the record, right? But to just take something that someone spent so much time on and to just give a flippant, tongue-in-cheek opinion, it's fine that you do that. Everybody has a right to an opinion, but it doesn't make you qualified. It doesn't make your opinion really matter. It's a dumb opinion. It's like someone who's not a doctor giving opinions about someone's health and trying to diagnose them. You don't know, man. You just got an opinion. That's something I noticed with the younger generations. They seem to have an opinion on everything, even stuff they don't know a damn thing about. They don't know shit about it, but they have an opinion on it. It's amazing to me. I come from Generation X, and one thing about Generation X is, at least we were, humble enough to take a step back and realize we didn't know what the hell we were talking about. So I don't know. It took 13 years between 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum. All right, that's a lot of time to spend on these songs, even if you were working on other projects or businesses. Right? It's still a long time to spend perfecting 10 songs. All right. Yet some dumb reviewer spends 2 hours listening to your record, taking some bullet point notes along the way, and then spitting out some cookie cutter opinion that's probably shaped by other reviews he's read or heard, shaped by his mood that day, shaped by whatever, and who cares? The point is, the opinion carries too much weight, is what I'm saying. It does not deserve the platform it has. These reviewers, I'm looking at some of these music reviewers, they got 800,000 people subscribed to their channels. Your opinion doesn't deserve that much weight. I mean, we're talking about a piece of art that someone spent years on. You're going to listen to it one time, take some bullet points, and now all of a sudden your opinion, it's like judge, jury, and executioner. Like you've spoken, and now like three other people listen to yours, and now their opinions are shaped by that one. Now they speak, and now you got like this whole gang of reviewers that all speak on your record, and all of a sudden your record sucks. You guys just form the narrative of this record because people are walking around here like sheep listening to all these music reviewers. It's nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. Look, most of the reviews you might watch or read about Fear Inoculum have not given the record the attention or respect that record or the band deserves. All right. And that's the bottom line. All right. That record and that band deserves way more respect than what these dumb reviewers are giving it. That's the bottom line. We just live in this time where anybody can pop up a YouTube channel and have an opinion on anything, whether they're qualified to have that opinion or not. You know, whether they, whether their opinion really should mean anything or not. So many people follow these people that their opinion does mean something, whether it should mean something or not. I mean, if I have an opinion on, how someone should lose weight, but, I've never lost weight myself, and, I'm not a professional, athlete, or I'm not a professional trainer or whatever, my opinion really shouldn't have that much weight, especially if I've never lost any weight myself. But yeah, I can start a YouTube channel and talk about that all day long. And, I'll just build a big old following, and now all of a sudden everyone's going to listen to me. And that's what we got. We got like all these music reviewers, on all these music review channels. That's all they do, man, is they do these music reviews on their channels. And like all of a sudden it's like they have some kind of weight on these albums. Like their opinions have some kind of weight. Like their opinions even matter. It's ridiculous. And now we got all these sheep running around here listening to them. And if they watch this guy's review saying that Fear Inoculum is not that great, it's like the worst Tool record that they've ever put out, and then all of a sudden they watch like three more reviews and they all say that, then what happens? Then they're like, I'm probably not going to listen to it. It's probably not even that great, right? But that's not even their opinion. They haven't even listened to the record. Like their opinion's just been shaped by these other fools who aren't even qualified to give an opinion. Their opinion is nonsense. You don't listen to a record that's been, kind of like looked at and sifted through for 13 years and finally put out when they feel like it's ready to be put out. Like, and you don't just like listen to that record one time and then go all flip it tongue in cheek on it. I mean, listen to the damn record, put it in your car for a couple weeks, put it in your car for a couple weeks, man. Let that be the soundtrack to your life. I mean, they spent a long time on it. Why don't you spend a little time with it before you form this nonsensical opinion that like 600,000 people are gonna take and latch onto and do all this other stuff? And pretty soon you got this narrative that's been formed about this record by this amazing band. And like this narrative is not very good, but like the band doesn't deserve it and the record doesn't deserve it. And I just kind of wonder, like with a band like Tool, it's like, what is their motivation to put out another record when all these reviewers talk all this mad shit about this record? It's amazing to me. I mean, yeah, it's just amazing to me. I guess it's a sign of the times, Maybe I just come from a different time. But I tell you, man, I listened to Fear Inoculum several times, and I spent a lot of time with it. And like as a musician, I can appreciate the arrangements. I can appreciate the tones. I can appreciate the length of the songs, the way they move into uncharted territory within the song, and then they come back and bring it back full circle. I love that, man. That's an art form that really, really good progressive rock bands can do and make you feel like I just went on this weird journey, but it came back full circle, and now I know where I'm at again. I love that. That's what I love about progressive rock music, that it can take you to these weird places, these weird unexpected places, but then it can bring you back to familiar territory. I love that about progressive rock, and I love that about Tool. And I'll tell you what, man, Fear Inoculum is one of those records that you can put on while you're writing a report for a class. You can put on while you're doing some work on your computer. You can even put this on while you're reading a book, man, and you can appreciate this album and enjoy it for what it is, this massive body of work that is complete and masterfully executed, right? From artists that you probably aren't going to see tons and tons more work from. So you got to enjoy it while it lasts. You got to enjoy it while it lasts. How many more Tool records do you really think you're going to get? Right? Now, maybe this younger generation, like millennial generation and Generation Z or whatever, maybe they don't even appreciate Tool for what they are. Maybe they don't care if they get another Tool record. Maybe they don't care. Someone like me, I appreciate it for what it is. Absolute, masterfully done, masterfully executed body of music that I'm lucky to be able to hear, because who knows how many more records this band will put out. So I tell you what, man, given the sign of the times, right? The way that there's not tons and tons of money in music anymore because nobody pays for music anymore, right? So there's not tons and tons of money that's put into it. There's not tons and tons of money in it anymore as artists. You got to wonder, as the money leaves music, what happens is production quality is going to decline, right? And that's the fact of the matter. Now, some of you out there are going to argue, well, no, because technology has advanced to where we can have great production quality for a fraction of the cost that it was in the 80s and 90s. Now, some of that's true, but some of it's not true. Some of it's not true. The fact of the matter is, people aren't going to buy $5,000 microphones anymore. They're not going to make $5,000 microphones anymore because there's not a market for it anymore, because there's not money for that thing anymore, right? The music videos, you already see it in the music videos. The music video quality is not going to be the same quality that it was 20 years ago. Yes, the technology has gotten better. The cameras have gotten better, but the quality, the artistic vision of the music videos aren't going to be as good. And you can see that now. The artists that were creating these music videos back in the 80s and 90s, the artistic quality of the stories and just the way things were done, they used to cost a lot of money. They had to pay out a lot of money for these professionally done videos. And, you know, I believe it's going to suffer. And it all probably stems from music just losing its value, period. But that's a story for another day. Yeah, that's a story for another day. The point is, what I'm trying to say is, this is a great record. It's masterfully executed, and I think that the reviews that I've seen for it out there, they didn't spend enough time with the record. They didn't give it the respect or attention it deserved, and I think their opinions, frankly, carry too much weight. That's what I think. I think they have platforms that they don't deserve, and their opinions get far, far too much weight. So anyways, that's it for me, guys. If you are a Tool fan, give Fear Inoculum a chance. I think it's a great fucking record, point blank. And you know what? We don't know how many more Tool records we're going to get. So please enjoy it. All right. See you guys. Peace.